took place about a month ago. A close friend, Richard, invited me to stay a few nights with his family in a house at the beach. The house was very nice, and looked kind of old but well kept. It had 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen and a living room, but was still a small, simple place, about 10 meters away from the ocean water. I got there at around noon, on a Sunday, and we spent hours walking across the beach, through the shallow water and walking around big rocks. It was so much fun, just chatting and walking next to the shore. We found some abandoned buildings, some could have been small houses, others restaurants that looked like they were about to collapse and be eaten by the waves, and some were just knocked down walls. After we'd explored what we could for that day, me and Richard decided to walk back to the house his family was renting. We all did some resistance exercises, ate, and went to bed. The bedroom me and Richard stayed in had 1 bed and 1 hammock. He decided he was going to sleep in the hammock, and so I took the bed. I told him to turn off the lights, but when he did, we immediately looked at each other and said this might be a bit of a problem, laughing. Since there was no visible moon that night, as far as we'd seen, and the house was in a very remote part of the beach, the room was pitch black. So dark that you couldn't see anything at all, except for the dim reflection of some faraway lighthouse or star on a framed painting that hung on the wall. It must have been coming through the window that was facing towards the ocean. It was one of those windows that has many thick wooden pieces that fold open and close with a window crank. Anyways, Richard stumbled over to his hammock, in complete darkness, and we said goodnight. I was laying in my bed, beginning to relax, when I noticed a very quick flash of intense white light on the wall on the opposite side of the window. It was such a quick flash, that I thought I was just imagining it, but when I mentioned it to Richard seconds later, he said he saw it too. We thought that was rather strange, considering that it was very late into the night, and we were in a remote house on the beach, and it didn't make sense for there to be anyone out there with some sort of flashlight, or whatever that was. We sort of forgot about it, and tried to fall asleep. I was looking at the wall in front of my bed, at that dim reflection on the framed painting, when I noticed that there seemed to be some sort of movement around it. Like a slight shadow that would pass over it, for a split second, and then again, going in a loop around the room. By then I knew I was just seeing stuff, since I was tired and it was so dark in there, so it really could have been something about my vision, the lighting, or just my mind playing tricks on me. That was until I told him I was seeing shadows, and he said yeah, me too, it's as if it's something circling around the room.